welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner. Chase the Horseman Horsley here alongside with head coach Sean Neary. And coach, I mean, the season's getting close, coming to an end. You guys get the first round here at home after getting the job done against Casper and Eastern Wyoming, on sophomore night, heading into Casper night. I mean, when you look at those two games, how big of a momentum is it to really, one, get it done at Casper? And you guys, I mean, it played really well at Casper, getting it done. I mean, what does that mean for the momentum heading into this week?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things for us was we got healthy. We were missing Jaden Smith and Moses Blackwell, probably 3 weeks.
It was a while.
And then even one of those games that we lost on the road, we didn't have Syed. So finally got healthy a little bit and played good enough to beat Eastern here. And then, like you said, went down and beat Casper at Casper. So, kind of finding our rhythm a little bit now that we got everybody back. And then hopefully we're healthy and ready to go Saturday against Trinidad State.
And this is pretty much a rematch setup of the championship game last year. Obviously, all new players, different setup in that case. But when you look at that, is that something you're kind of taking into account, trying to get that revenge back? Or is it more of just like trying to stay focused and just to win one game at a time?
Yeah, two totally different teams, Instead of in the championship, we're in the first round. I mean, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
They're a 5 and we're a 4, so yeah, a lot of differences. And two new whole teams. So,
right.
Now we just got to get ready to play on Saturday, and hopefully we'll stay healthy and be ready to play.
You mentioned those injuries, and that was one of the big talking points I wanted to talk about was, Jaden Smith, Moses Blackwell, them being out. And, we talked about a point guard situation, and we've talked about it through, the high school games and off air for a little bit. Like when you don't have that point guard or that extra person that, can defend really well and stuff, do you think that really kind of tipped down some of the momentum that you guys were having? I mean, when Smith and Moses Blackwell being out?
Yeah, I mean, it really affects us because those are our two lead guards. And, so you lose your lead guards or your point guards, and then you're bringing up some guys that are having to play the point, which is a little different for some of these guys. And so, we kind of sputtered through it, but we survived. And anytime you go through those kind of injuries, I think it helps to build the team to be a better team. And then when they come back, if they come back, I think you're a little better, and that was kind of clear when we played Eastern and Casper. So, just having the ability to have some depth back, and really our point guards, it's different if you lose a point guard and a wing or a big and a wing, and you can kind of adjust. But when you lose two at the same position, who had been really playing all the minutes at the point, that was a little different for us, but we survived.
You did survive, and you guys get to be a 4 seed and getting to host, and that was a big thing. And obviously, winning against Casper, that was a big game because you don't win that one, you guys drop down to the 5 seed, and now you're on the road.
Yeah, and again, Casper's not the Casper that they usually are, and we're not the Gillette that we usually are. So it was kind of it's been a long time since the two of us played for a game that wasn't for first or second,
Yeah.
And so, but I'm glad we went on the road, and our guys just played solid. They had a good start, and we defended pretty well, and just kind of hung in there. I think at one point Casper maybe got it back under 10 for a little bit there, but yeah, I mean, just a good solid win for our guys. Ollie Topo, had a good game for us. He had a double-double, 13 and 13, which was huge for us, and one of his better games for sure this year. And that was huge. And then again, just having that depth and being able to rotate guys really made a difference.
We've been seeing a lot from Ali Topo. I mean, he got, some starts, and been seeing him. I mean, Jada Bolak as well. I mean, he's made some big things. And then Jabe Batchley. I mean, when you look at those three bigs, I mean, what are the big things that you've expressed that you're like, hey, we need this from you guys each and every game?
Well, I think when those guys rebound, it makes a difference. defensively, for them to help us rebound and not give up second shots is huge. And so some nights they do a good job with that, and some nights we're not as good. But that's a big thing those guys need to do, is really defend and get the defensive boards. It's a huge deal for us.
Absolutely. Okay, so from the beginning of the season to now, what are the biggest things that you guys have kind of learned?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a long list. I don't know if we have enough time. We this year we kind of started over. I mean, we had Syed back, was the only returner that played. Joe Sawyer was a redshirt, so he never actually played. And then we brought in one transfer in Rashad McCormick. So whole new team from the jump. And there was just a lot of growing that we had to do. And at times we sputtered, and then at times we started to get it. It's kind of been, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But, yeah, they're growing and they're maturing like they should. We would expect that out of them. And so, maybe we're playing our best at the end, which we always try to anyway. But maybe we are this year, and maybe that'll give us some momentum going into the tournament and see what happens.
You mentioned Rashad. I mean, coming in, transferring in, and really trying to get this team back up to, obviously into Gillette standards, especially after a good year last year with, your son and the whole crew last year is pretty kind of crazy. And I'm pretty sure, was it like two of them out D1, some D2, in those cases. But what did you see big that you were like, oh man, I need to go get Rashad, have him come in, help us out? And what have you seen now to the point that he's been able to kind of help out the team?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 3 Division I transfers off of last year's team, and 2 Division I transfers, 3 all-region players, win the North. So yeah, a lot to fulfill there.
Yeah.
Rashad came in, and we liked him in the recruiting process. He's a bigger guard. He's really taken on a role of a scorer for us, and most nights it's been really good. So I think the guys are getting, again, as the season goes on, the guys get more comfortable in the offense and figure out who does what and where they're best at. And so I think it's become more of a comfort level for the team with Rashad and how he came in. But I also give credit to the other guys, making sure that he gets the ball in the right spots. And so, again, I mean, there's been times where, we've done okay with it, and there's been times we haven't. Sometimes that has to do with who we're playing, the matchups. We have a couple teams that we just didn't match up very well against this year, which is frustrating, but at the same time, it's part of it. And I'm sure other teams could say the same playing us. But yeah, he's done a nice job for us, and hopefully, he has a good tournament.
Absolutely. So let's kind of dive in a little bit to Trinidad State. Obviously, coming in here, as you said, brand new team, and they're still, even though they're, that bottom seed with it being the 4, being the 5, I mean, they're still a really good squad.
Yeah, kind of developed a lot of history between us and them over the past 3 seasons since we came back, But yeah, well coached. He'll have them playing hard. Their guards will attack. And we just we've got to do a good job defending them for sure. But yeah, 2 totally new teams and 2 totally new looks, and so I'm glad we got a home game.
Yeah.
And look forward to playing on Saturday.
Some of the other guys we haven't talked about, Benedict Agier, and then we also have Chris Morgan. And, we typed on Syed, at the very beginning, but, it seems like all 3 of them have really kind of, gone out to a new setup. We saw Chris Morgan a few times where he's come in, made some big plays. Benedict Agier, he's made some big plays. I mean, do you think it's kind of like last year now where, you got two sets of starters on the bench again?
Yeah, our depth this year isn't what we would have liked it to been, and so, any contributions from Benny or Chris are huge for us, and some nights it works out and some nights it doesn't, but, give those 2 guys credit. I mean, they come to practice every day with a good attitude and work hard, and so I'm pleased with that, because it can be frustrating when you're not getting, consistent quality minutes, and so they've handled it well, and I appreciate that.
All right, before we get you out of here, what are your 3 main goals for this weekend against Trinidad State?
Well, I think with Trinidad State, we've got to do a good job of guarding the paint. We just can't let them get easy shots. We can't let them get second shots. So those are the 2 keys at the defensive end. Offensively, just keep moving the ball, and we'll get good shots, and hopefully the guys will knock them down.
Perfect. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Thanks, Chase.
Awesome. More to come with our Coaches Corners. Again, make sure you check out our Pronghorn Athletic YouTube channel, and then you can go check out all the Coaches Corners throughout this season as well. Just find the Coaches Corner playlist, the 25-26 season for that. And once again, make sure you come out here for the matchup coming up this weekend at 3 p.m. It'll be the Pronghorns taking on Trinidad State. They're going to be painting the Pronghorn Center blue, so make sure you wear your blue out here to the Pronghorn Center. From Coach Sean Neary to Chase the Horseman Horsley, we will see y'all next time.